Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, James Makes Clothes, and in today's video I'm going to go into a deep dive of this book, the Vogue sewing book, and it is available on Amazon. This should be fun. I had never heard of this book until my niece gave it to me just only a few months ago. The reason why I wanted to do a deep dive on this book is because I learned to sew when I was a kid from my mom. If I had this book when I was teaching myself how to make clothes as a teenager, this would have been a lifesaver. This book is meant to complement the Vogue patterns, the commercial patterns, but if you're a designer or if you're someone who is learning to sew, this is actually a really good, amazing in-depth guide even for your own designs and clothing constructions. Yeah, so the first thing that struck me about this book was the detailed illustrations of everything, and I am a visual person. I like to look at diagrams as well as read the directions. I can't just go off instructions alone. So this has a lot of illustrations, and the first part is really great if you're a designer because it goes through the different elements of fashion. So it goes through silhouettes, jackets, pants, different sleeves, collars, necklines, which is really helpful. I have Pinterest boards devoted to all this, but now I don't need it because it's all just in one area. In this book, it's great. It's going to be my reference book from now on. Then we have actually, which I thought it was awesome, which you can only find in sort of older books from the 70s. And this is a section on spot removal. So, I mean, how would you know how to get, nail polish, paint, and varnish? You could Google it, right? But these books came out before all that existed. Then you have, it's quite a thorough book. I love it. You have this guide to linings. It's all the different linings. And I have actually Googled some of these because I've never even heard of them. And I actually made a purchase based on some of the knowledge I found in this book for lining. So it's great interfacing. Then you have this little blurb on designers. And I love it because look how, they do a little history of designers. And I love it because they all look so young. And there's a photo of Diane von Furstenberg in here, and she looks very young. And then we have a metric conversion chart section, which is great because if you're a designer or sewing, you know that you have to sort of flip sometimes between metric and imperial measurements, which can be a little confusing. So having a chart there really helped. I had not seen a book this thorough before. So this book is completely new to me, and I'm super excited about it, obviously. So one of the things that got me really excited was this alteration and fit guide. So it tells you, I mean, this is for their own patterns, but if you had your own patterns that you were trying to fit or customize to yourself or someone else, this is an amazing guide. I mean, it's extremely thorough, and it goes through different body types and how to fit and where to add and where to take away on your pattern. It is awesome. And that goes through armholes, it goes through bust lines, pants, dresses, everything is great. The next section, which I thought was really great, well, even the pants section is great because pants can be a really big challenge to fit and alter the pattern. So having a guide really helps. There's a section on fabric preparation, and I think I even did a video on that. So it's great because it tells you how to line up your selvage, how to deal with slippery fabrics like silk, how to match plaids, how to match prints. I mean, a lot of this stuff you would only learn in school, but this book is almost a complete guide. It is really good to have for a beginner and an intermediate person. It's like, for me, I like to upcycle things, and so you get a lot of random stuff, and so it's kind of nice to have a reference guide just to see how to work with everything. There's a leather and a vinyl section. I would really love to sew leather and vinyl, but you need a special machine for that. I'm not going to do it on that faff in the background. It'll not work for that. But I love the leather guide. I've not found a book before that has this much in depth. And then we have a section on matching surface fancy fabrics, we call them. I guess they're called like fancy. So like fake fur, brocades, like plush fabrics, things with embroidery on them. There's a whole section on how to deal with those. And then you go into your construction. So once you're sewing, it has a guide on how to ease your corners, put your sleeves in. And then there's always photos of how everything's supposed to look. So you don't always need to be stuck to your phone Googling everything, you have a complete guide in here. It is great. Everything is from the 70s in it. I don't know what the revised version will look like. There is a revised version on Amazon for $31. So I think a lot of these photos will be updated, especially the body type. I'm not going to touch on what they say about different body types. It's not very inclusive, we'll just say that. Then there's a section on tucks and pleats. So we're moving into surface details. So the nice thing about this book is each chapter it's like basically each step you would follow when creating a garment. So each chapter is in order of your order of creating a garment. It's quite thorough. So if you're making something for the first time, you would just go chapter to chapter to chapter, and you would probably come out with something really amazing after. I love the section on putting in collars and necklines. You know, when I was just teaching myself and winging it back before the internet existed, I made a lot of really weird and funny mistakes, and I never put interlining on anything. So that's kind of funny. Then we've got, I just love all the photos. I love the color photos that they put in of the sleeves and what everything's supposed to look like. It's quite nice. I love the different cuffs that they do, how to sew in buttons. I really love the guide on buttonholes and buttons. For me, buttonholes are like the bane of my existence. I hate putting them in. In my dream fantasy, I would have a buttonhole machine, an industrial buttonholer, like does an amazing buttonhole in like half a second. It's great. This guide, I think it'll help me. I think it'll get over my buttonhole sewing fears. Waistbands, belts, making belts, putting on your waistband, right? And then, because these are all the final stages that you would do when making your garment. Then there's a section on hems and finishes. Then we have a really great section on tailoring. So if you want to attempt to make yourself a suit, you know, have fun with that. I love the section on the final touches, like adding fur trim, adding all those. There's really in-depth guides and pictures of how to do it. It is great. And then in the last chapter we have menswear. So there is a little blurb on menswear. I was hoping there was. You know me, I love my menswear. I like making clothes for myself and showing them off. There is a men's body type in here. It's not very inclusive. They all look kind of like the same size, except one has a belly, so not really sure where they're going with that. I love the photos of the menswear. And then we have fitting, troubleshooting, which is great. And then there's at the very back, there's a whole guide on how to set up your studio. So, I mean, how great is that? And what machine to pick and what a dress form looks like. I mean, if you don't know how to sew and you're looking for a complete guide to learning, something that can assist you, I really highly recommend this book. It's $31 on Amazon and there's a new edition. So thanks for watching my video, and I will see you guys later.